welcome back for another season of Firebird Nation Sports Update. I'm Patricia Thomas. This season, I'll be bringing you the interviews with our coaches, student athletes, and others involved in intercollegiate athletics.
And I'm Zedalis. In each episode of Firebird Nation Sports Update, I will be reporting on the latest activities of our athletic program.
We kick off our television season with an interview with Dr. Robert Dranoff, Commissioner of the East Coast Conference. But first, let's get you updated with all the Firebird action.
In case you missed it, the 2014-15 academic year was a tremendous success for the University of the District of Columbia Athletics. All summer long, the recognitions for athletic, academic, and community service kept pouring in. Here's a rundown of the awards won by teams and individual Firebirds. Ben Taylor of the men's lacrosse team was named a Capital One COSIDA Second Team Academic All-American, and 3 Firebirds were named ECC Scholar Athletes of the Year: Michael Terry, Ben Taylor, and Jerry Lee Benjamin. Also, the department boasted 47 ECC Commissioners Honor Roll and 17 Division II Athletics Directors Association Academic Achievement Award recipients. The women's tennis team was named an East Coast Conference Academic Team of Excellence, and both men's and women's tennis earned Intercollegiate Tennis Association All-Academic Team honors. Also, the 2 tennis teams combined for 8 ITA Scholar Athlete Awards, and both teams' senior captains, Maxime Doust and Simon Anderson, earned the Arthur Ashe Leadership and Sportsmanship Awards. The track and field team earned United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association All-Academic Team honors, and both Jerry Lee Benjamin and Kamoy Mays were named USTF CCCA All-Academics. The women's lacrosse team earned IWLCA Division II Academic Honor Squad distinction and 3 IWLCA Academic Honor Roll individual selections. In other exciting news over the summer, the University of the District of Columbia hired Dwayne Burrows as its new head women's basketball coach. Burrows has been instrumental in the Firebirds' recent run of success. As an assistant coach the past 4 seasons, he helped UDC reach 3 NCAA tournaments, win the program's first ECC tournament championship and its first ECC regular season championship, as well as set the school single-season records for wins, 25, and consecutive wins, 14, both during the 2015 season. Under his leadership, the athletic department is confident our women's basketball program will continue on its current path of success. Staying with women's basketball, the athletic department's proud to announce it has its first ever representative as Miss UDC in senior forward Tatiana Calhoun. A major in architecture from Sussex, Virginia, Tatiana ran on the platform Today's Seeds for Tomorrow's Garden, which was widely supported by the student body. She's currently busy coordinating events to be held throughout the upcoming academic year, and we wish her all the best of luck. The department was also very proud to have recent graduate track and field student athlete Kamoy Mays represent UDC and the entire East Coast Conference at the NCAA Career and Sports Forum at the NCAA headquarters in Indianapolis. Mays was one of only 200 participants nationwide to participate in the forum, which allows the selected student athletes to learn and explore potential careers in sports, with the primary focus on college athletics. Finally, the UDC Athletic Department also announced the winner of the hotly contested Penny Wars contest. The contest pit each UDC sports team in friendly competition against each other, with each team trying to collect pennies in its respective jar and discard silver change and dollar bills in other teams' jars. Pennies counted as positive points, +1 per penny, while silver change and dollar bills were negative points in accordance with their monetary worth. Nickels were -5, dimes -10, a dollar bill was -100, etc. With many generous donations made in dollar amounts, the men's lacrosse team was pronounced the winner as they were the only team with a total point value on the positive side. At the end of the competition, $343.43 was donated to the Make-A-Wish Mid-Atlantic chapter. The Mid-Atlantic chapter grants the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions throughout central and southern Delaware, the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. A big thank you to all involved. Switching gears now to what should be an extremely exciting 2015-16 academic year for the Firebirds, the fall sports seasons are in full swing here at UDC. Let's start with a rundown of those fall sports. The men's soccer team is still finding its footing early in the 2015 season as they are about to embark on the East Coast Conference portion of its schedule. The Firebirds notched their first victory of the season on September 15th with a 1-0 win at Mercyhurst. A young team with 11 newcomers to the roster, UDC has shown it can compete, and head coach Matt Thompson expects more victories to come as the season progresses. Among the returning student athletes from last year's 9-7-1 team are All-Region senior goalkeeper Lewis Connor, who currently ranks 10th in Division II with 34 saves this season. Meanwhile, freshman Alexandria native Kevin Ortez out of Virginia Soccer state champion TC Williams headlines the class of newcomers with an ECC second best 3 goals this season. The women's tennis team is off to a solid start as the Firebirds attempt to qualify for ECC postseason play for a 5th straight season. UDC edged conference foe LAU Post 5-4 and breezed past Malloy 9-0 for its 2 victories thus far in fall 2015. The Firebirds were also very competitive in losses to perennial ECC powerhouses NYIT and Queens. UDC has 3 more conference matches remaining as it looks to vie for a top 4 position in the standings. Dickie Mahaffey's squad is led by recent ECC Player of the Week award recipient, sophomore Dominika Hadnadova, and returning first-team All-ECC selection, Pirata Lorisiwan. Improvement is the key objective for head coach Alton McKenzie's cross-country team. The Firebirds are simply looking to better their individual times week in and week out as they compete against mostly Division I schools at meets hosted by Delaware State and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Junior Katiara Johnson has stood out among the pack of Firebird runners with team best times at Lidlifter Invitational and the Cappy Anderson Invitational, both hosted by UMES. She is coming off of her season best time of 22 minutes and 17 seconds at the Cappy Anderson Invite. The Firebirds will compete at 2 more meets in October at Delaware State and then finish the season on Saturday, October 24th at the ECC Championships in Huntington, New York.
Dr. Robert J. Dranoff was named the 5th Commissioner of the East Coast Conference in 2008. He has been involved in college athletics in the New York metropolitan area for nearly 30 years, serving as Assistant Director of Athletics at St. John's University, Director of Athletics at the State University of New York College at Old Westbury, Director of Athletics at ECC member Dowling College, and Assistant Dean of Student Services and Director of Athletics at Suffolk County Community College. A graduate of St. John's University with a degree in athletic administration, Dr. Dranoff earned his Master of Science degree concentrating in counselor education from St. John's, and his doctorate in education concentrating on educational administration from Dowling. I spoke with him while he was in Washington, D.C. to begin preparation for the 2016 ECC Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, which will be hosted by the University of the District of Columbia. Good afternoon, Bob. Welcome to Washington, D.C. and the University of the District of Columbia campus.
I'm really happy to be here with you, Pat.
Thank you so much. Let's start by talking about the NCAA in general. I find that the media focuses primarily on NCAA Division I intercollegiate athletics. Can you talk about what's unique about Division II?
You know, I agree with you. I think, especially when it's bad news, people think that all college athletics is like what Division I is. And the reality is, NCAA, which is about 1,300 schools, the majority of them are not in Division I. Over 750 of those schools are in Division II and III. And while those negative things about Division I that really get people upset, I think, when they hear about these massive amounts of money that are spent in Division I athletics and Division I coaches' salaries and behavioral issues by student athletes that are in the media, discussions about paying college athletes, those kind of things. Some of that does trickle down into Division II and III. But I think when I think about Division II, and now at this point in my career, I've spent most of my life in intercollegiate athletics in Division II, whether as an AD or or a commissioner. When I think about the focuses of Division II, I think that there's so many good things that are done at this level. Division II just rolled out this new brand. It used to be I chose Division II,
Right.
and now the newest brand and newest logo focuses on Division II, make it yours. And it took me a little while in my own mind to figure out what does that mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it means is that Division II really focuses on helping students make that experience unique for themselves. Division II focuses on academic excellence and success, pathway to graduation. How do we help, so important now, from financial and academic perspectives, how do we help students get that degree
Right.
in a way that makes sense?
Right.
Division II focuses on life after graduation. Where are we going to go? How do we prepare you to be successful in what you are going to do, whether it's academic or career? Division II focuses on giving a great competitive athletic experience at a high level. So a lot of Division II is focused on regional play, but allows schools the opportunity to be successful on a national level too.
Right.
And finally, and it kind of goes back to that make it yours, Division II focuses on allowing the student to really be part of that campus community, to experience other things outside of athletics and academics, and really being part of becoming a leader on their campuses too, and enjoying all those other aspects that maybe you can't do in the Division I level.
Right. So the life balance core value is real in Division II for student athletes and staff?
Yeah, I think that and we've seen it over the last several years through legislation that the NCAA has focused on. The presidents who lead our institutions have looked at that balance, life in the balance. What does that mean? It means giving enough time for student athletes to be able to be part of what's going on in their campuses, to take leadership roles, to enjoy other activities outside of athletics, but also for staff too, is that how do we make this make more sense so that people can really be part of an amazing experience that college athletics is.
Right. You know, Bob, one of my strategic goals when I arrived here was to find a conference. And we are just extremely excited and very pleased that we landed with the East Coast Conference. It's been a wonderful experience for our staff and for our student athletes, and provides an opportunity for our student athletes to compete for a championship, which is very, very important. Can you talk about some of the values and just talk about the conference in general?
Well, first I'll say that that feeling is mutual in terms of the amazing opportunity that that transition for UDC and the East Coast Conference was. First of all, it opened up a new perspective and a new area for us for a conference that had been, and I go way back in that conference, that had thought of themselves as this very closely located group. And I think that, you know, the way that Division II has progressed over the years is that being part of a conference becomes extremely important. As you said, access to national championship play, and UDC has had that opportunity in some sports, but access through conference championships, through conference play. So scheduling, you're right, is a big part of what we do.
Yes.
I think the other things that conference and hopefully the East Coast Conference does is, from a special perspective, is a recognition. Whether it's through awards on the conference, regional or national level. Coming through a conference helps with that. UDC has had several of their student athletes and teams recognized at high levels within the conference. I think back a couple of years ago, in one of the first couple of years that UDC was participating, Katie and Jones from women's cross country and track and field was one of our ECC award winners. That's our top honor for male and female student athletes, and what an impressive woman. Just this past spring, I know the women's tennis team was recognized as one of our academic teams of excellence,
Yes.
highest GPA
Yes.
in that sport in the conference. And so those awards, all conference and other kind of awards that we present are, I think, are important and great opportunities. The conference works closely with the campuses in the area of compliance as a resource, but also as overseeing compliance. UDC happens to have one of the best in the business in Joe Lang,
Yes, we do.
who's an old friend, but also an amazing leader.
Yes.
I don't have to tell you, and has had a great impact on this institution. But compliance is important. I think compliance is important for the institution, but it's also really important for the student athlete.
Yes.
In helping them stay eligible, but also move towards graduation. And the other thing as connected to that is the conference also gives a voice to the institutions from a national level in terms of understanding and being able to comment on compliance and rules and changes and what we should be trying to do. And finally, one of the biggest things I think that the conference does is help promote our institutions, whether it's on our websites and through weekly awards and schools that are trying to promote themselves, and we give another opportunity and maybe more exposure. We do some webcasting of our championship events, so our schools are able to get promoted through there. And the last thing that I'll say is I think the conference, through some of the things that we do in terms of leadership opportunities for both staff in terms of getting committee work and committee representation, whether within the conference or outside. You're one of our leaders as the chair of our athletic directors group, but also serve as the chair of women's basketball for the region. And so it gives an opportunity for those folks, but also we do a lot of leadership training, and I think that's one of the
Really
that's one of the best things that we do. So opportunities for student athletes to grow, for administrators to grow, but for student athletes to grow too.
And community engagement is extremely important, and the conference has served as a valuable conduit in supporting Make-A-Wish Foundation, for example. What are some of the other initiatives that the conference has started?
You know, I don't know if it's because I feel so strongly about service to the community. The NCAA certainly does, but the amount of service that all of our institutions, our 11 institutions, do on campus and in their communities is amazing. You know, we have awards each year where we recognize top programs in terms of hours served, money raised, all our schools. Again, because it's part of their mission, but also I think today every athletic director that's part of our program, and I would probably say every coach, is really committed to that idea. So Make-A-Wish is the Division II cause still, and I'm extremely proud of the work that we've done. Every school in our conference raises at least some money for Make-A-Wish. We do an annual event, we call it our Spirit Showcase, where we have our campus and other schools from around the area come in, and cheerleaders and dance groups and spirit groups come in and perform in front of family and friends. It's not a competition, it's really a fundraising effort. And in the 6 or 7 years we've done this, we've raised over $25,000 for Make-A-Wish.
Wow, that's wonderful.
We've had Make-A-Wish representatives come in and speak to the group. And I got to say, and it's not just because I'm here at UDC, because I've told you this myself, is that when those men and women came up from UDC last year to Long Island to perform in this event, first of all, they were outstanding.
Thank you.
But the spirit and the desire to be part of it was just, to me, it was one of the best things we've ever done. And I was just so impressed by those men and women. In addition, we're really proud of the work that we do. We have a partnership with Team Impact, which is an organization that teams children that have very debilitating illnesses with colleges, athletic programs all over the country, teams where a team will adopt a child, will draft a child onto their team and make that child, while they're able to be part of everything that goes on. A few of our schools have been involved in that. We've done some collective events over the years. A really good one last year was a what we call Team Up to Clean Up. Every
Yes.
school in our conference did a cleanup project in their communities. We did a really good promotion this last year with a Wounded Warrior program, where all our basketball teams were involved in raising money and awareness for that amazing cause. And so, you know, service to the community, all of our schools are involved. Your school's done some great things in terms of clinics and other activities. And when I think of our conference, I think of excellence in academics. I think of some amazing athletic programs. But the thing I truthfully am proudest of is the work that we do in the community.
You just answered my next question, and I know that it's not easy being a commissioner and really serving and working with 11 now member institutions as well as some affiliates and other programs. And the conference has certainly grown even during our time. What are you most proud of?
Well, you know, I am proud of those kind of things that that we do. I think probably, again, maybe the most important thing is that we have a good reputation, and I think a strengthened reputation over the years in membership. When I took over the conference, we were in the process of shrinking to 8 schools. UDC joined us, and then in the last couple of years we expanded out to Western New York with Roberts Wesleyan College and most recently Damon College. So we're back at a stronger capacity. Our reputation athletically is strong. I think our reputation as a conference that does things the right way is strong. I'm proud of the fact that we've been able to stabilize things for now. Things changed. Higher education is a tough field these days,
Yes.
but I think athletically we're better than we've ever been. And so I'm extremely proud, honestly, of the leadership programs that we have done. That was one of the first things that we started 9 years ago when I came to the conference. We call it our Experience in Community and Character. We bring in student athletes from all our institutions once a year. Last year we started a new venture where we team now with the Central Atlantic Conference.
Yes.
And so last year we had over 25 schools. We had 25 schools represented with over 60
Amazing.
student athletes. We go through leadership training, we bring in speakers. We're looking forward to this year. We're teaming with the NCAA. They're sending in representatives to come speak to our
Fantastic.
student athletes. We'll be doing it at our offices on the campus of New York Institute of Technology. And one of the really exciting parts is the first evening we'll be working with the local chapter of Special Olympics to have a dance, a Halloween dance.
Wonderful,
And so.
Bob.
To us, this is a great opportunity. So leadership is something I think you could talk about and you could train, but students that have the opportunity to go out there and be leaders and make a difference to the community is to me, the greatest way to teach those skills and reinforce the difference that they make. And so if you're asking me the things that to me are the proudest, you know, being an AD for a long time, it was great because of the personal relationships you built with students. You don't get that as much as being the commissioner, and that's something that I do miss a little bit. But when we can make a difference in the lives of student athletes and even more into the community, you know, it brings back all those great opportunities.
That's wonderful, and you've provided solid leadership for all of our institutions.
Yeah,
Bob.
it's work, but it's great being able to work with great people.
It's great stuff. I want to close with talking about the upcoming conference men's and women's basketball championships. And the UDC family is extremely excited that we are hosting the championship here on campus in March. What is the conference office doing to prepare? I know we're working very, very hard to get ready for this event.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, a couple of years ago, as you know, in the conference, we made some decisions in terms for basketball to try to focus on a few of the facilities within the conference that would serve this tournament the best. And UDC was in line to take over. And as the first championship that this school is going to be hosting, East Coast Conference, it's great that it's basketball. As an institution with a long history in strong men's and women's basketball,
Yes.
it's a great place to do it. It's a good facility for us. The fact is that we're coming to one of the greatest cities in the world,
Yes.
and Washington, D.C. is exciting for me personally, and I know exciting for our institutions. We're really looking forward. From a conference perspective, one of the things that we had talked about with you and your staff was how do we really look at bringing in a crowd. A lot of our schools are still centered outside of obviously the DC area, but we're real pleased that we've made some pretty good contacts already in the military area. Both we're focusing on families and young people, and also through military bases themselves, to try to partner with those bases to ask those folks to come in and support this,
Yes.
give them a great opportunity to be part of something exciting.
Absolutely.
Division II athletics is great. You could really feel like you're part of something in the gym where you are.
Yes.
And so that's one of our biggest parts. We've been working together on a plan to stream live our games, and we think we have a little time to prepare. It's not till March, but we think this is going to be a great location for us.
And certainly Washington, D.C. is a destination city, and again, our staff is geared, and we're working very, very hard to make this a wonderful event that I know that you'll be very, very proud of as well.
Well, we will. We're happy to be working with you on it.
Thank you so much, Bob, and I really appreciate your taking the time to be with us today.
It's my pleasure. I'm a big fan of this university. You know what a big fan I am of you and your staff, and we're looking forward to seeing you back in March.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
So Pat, what does hosting the ECC Championships do for the University of the District of Columbia?
Eric, hosting the championships provides an outstanding opportunity for folks to visit our beautiful campus in the nation's capital, learn about our outstanding academic programs, and watch competitive men's and women's NCAA basketball.
So thanks for watching the Firebird Nation Sports Update. Please don't forget to follow Firebird Athletics on the web at udcfirebirds.com, on Twitter at udcfirebirdfans, on Facebook at UDC Athletics, and on YouTube at UDC Athletics 1.
I'm Patricia Thomas.
And I'm Eric Zedalis. See you next time.